The dark history of Valentine's Day. Should believers celebrate this? From pagan rituals to Christian martyrdom, is this a holy day of love? The true origins of Valentine's Day is beyond romance. When most people hear Valentine's Day, their minds immediately leap to romance. Cupid with his bow, proposals in candlelit settings and couples exchanging flowers, chocolates and cards, lots and lots of cards. But the origins of this holiday are far from hearts and roses. In fact, love and romance had very little to do with it at the start. In the 5th century, Pope Gelasius VII attempted to replace the pagan Roman festival of Lupercalia, a wild fertility-driven celebration, with Saint Valentine's Day. His goal was to suppress pagan rituals by Christianizing them. The result? A confused mix of old and new beliefs. Every February 14th, millions exchange cards, chocolates, and sweet nothings. But beneath the red roses and romantic dinners lies a chilling history of blood, lust, and martyrdom. Today, we ask a deeper question. Should followers of Yahweh take part in what many consider a day of love, rooted in ancient darkness? Does this sound like something a holy Elohim would approve? Historian Noel Lenski notes, "It was a little more of a drunken revel, but the Christians put clothes back on it. Despite the makeover, it remained a day strongly linked to fertility and desire." Meanwhile, in Norman culture, there was a separate observance called Valentine's Day, with Gallatin meaning lover of women. Over time, this celebration may have been confused or blended with Saint Valentine's Day, simply because of the similarity in names. Long before Valentine's Day was linked to love, it was known as Lupercalia, a Roman fertility festival held from February 13th to 15th. Priests known as Luperci would sacrifice goats and dogs. With the bloody hides, they would strike women, believing it increased fertility. Young men and women were matched through random name draws, often leading to sexual pairings or forced unions. The brutal festival included a matchmaking lottery in which young men would draw the names of women from a jar. The couple would then get together for the duration of the festival. The history of Valentine's Day has a darker and more complex origin than the modern celebration of love and romance suggests. Here are the key elements of its shadowy past. 1. Origins in pagan ritual. Lupercalia. Valentine's Day is believed to have its roots in the ancient Roman pagan festival Lupercalia, celebrated from February 13th to 15th. This was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, and Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome. The festival involved the sacrifice of animals, usually goats and dogs, ritual flogging of women with animal hides, believed to promote fertility, a lottery system where men drew women's names from a jar for matchmaking, often resulting in temporary or even forced sexual pairings. Second Christian martyrdom. Saint Valentine, nows? There were multiple Christian martyrs named Valentine, and it's unclear which one the holiday honors. The most accepted stories involve a Valentine who was a priest in Rome during the reign of Emperor Claudius II. He defied the emperor's order and secretly married couples to spare the husbands from war. He was arrested and executed on February 14th, around 270 AD. Another legend suggests that Valentine fell in love with his jailer's daughter and sent her a note signed, "From your Valentine." These stories are grim and include torture, imprisonment, and execution, far removed from modern themes of romance. Third, adoption by the Church. To Christianize the popular pagan holiday of Lupercalia, the Catholic Church declared February 14th as Saint Valentine's Day. Over time, this replaced the more explicit and violent Lupercalia rituals, though some customs remained sensual or superstitious. But even here, the themes are persecution, execution, and death, not romance. Enter the Christian element. Several men named Valentine were executed by the Roman Empire. Legend says one priest defied Emperor Claudius II by marrying couples in secret. He was beaten, stoned, and beheaded on February 14th. Ritual bloodshed became clothed in piety, then but was the spirit of the holiday ever truly cleansed? Commercialization. By the 1800s, 19th centuries, printing technology turned romantic notes into mass-produced Valentine cards. What began in prison became a profitable paper industry, from personal to commercial. In 1861, Richard Cadbury sweetened the holiday by selling chocolates in decorated heart-shaped boxes. These were designed to be kept long after the sweets were gone, as keepsakes of affection. Valentine's Day became a commercial event with mass-produced cards, chocolates, and flowers. Some critics argue that this shift sanitized and exploited the darker, more profound origins tied to sacrifice, repression, and martyrdom. Today, Valentine's Day is big business. Over $20 billion is spent each year. But even the lightest celebration connects back to its unholy origins. In 2 Corinthians 6:14-15, do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? And what communion has light with darkness? And what accord has Yahawashi with Belial? Or what part has a believer with an unbeliever? Summary of the dark side. Pagan origins in blood rituals and fertility rites. Forced couplings and violence against women, Christian martyrdom and persecution, later manipulation for profit through romantic fantasy. From Claudius's empire to candy aisles, Valentine's Day has transformed from sacrifice to sentiment, from blood to branding. As the centuries passed, the holiday evolved. Writers like Geoffrey Chaucer and William Shakespeare helped romanticize Valentine's Day in their poetry and plays, making it more about love and courtship. This literary influence spread across Britain and Europe, and by the Middle Ages, handmade paper valentines were all the rage. The custom eventually reached the New World, where industrialization changed everything. By the 19th century, factories were churning out Valentine's Day cards. In 1913, Hallmark Cards in Kansas City began mass-producing Valentines, and February has never been the same since. But behind the paper hearts and boxes of chocolate, we must ask, are we honoring love or just following tradition? If the foundation is corrupt, can the celebration be holy? This isn't just about cards or flowers, but spiritual alignment. We must ask ourselves, is Yah pleased with a celebration built on blood, lust, and martyrdom? Can we honor the Most High while mimicking the world? So, should believers celebrate Valentine's Day? That's between you and the Most High. But as for me and my house, we choose to serve Yah, not tradition. If this video stirred your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Feast on Torah for more biblical truth that challenges the culture the world celebrates. Remember, truth isn't always sweet, but it always sets you free until the next lesson. Shalom.